I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Quotes and Quips. Today, words of wisdom from Ricky Gervais. Quotes and Quips is brought to you by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. There you can find links to my Amazon authors page, where you can download my books in their various formats, including audiobook format, and a link to my Spotify artist page, where you can download my music in its various subgenres. I've got new music for 2024. Or you can download my stuff anywhere across the internet, wherever you like to download your favorite music. But at my website, there's also free stuff, download music you can only get there, and other fun amusements. So check it out. Okay, today, Ricky Gervais gives us this. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But if you believe in God, you are wrong. All right, well, let's discuss that, shall we? First of all, just to let you know where I'm coming from, I was born into a family of atheists. And in my 40s, I had sort of a road to Damascus moment, and I became a progressive Christian. I served as a deacon at Mount Hollywood Congregational Church in Los Angeles. I've written a book called The Progressive Christian Handbook that is available in all the formats at Amazon, including audiobook. The author name is Jenny Friendswith. So I have respect both for secularity and for religion, and I have a very keen understanding of both. Now, Gervais's quote essentially is, "If you believe in God, you're wrong." So I want to analyze this. Now, first of all, I understand it, because people who don't believe in God, the easiest thing to say is, well, you can't prove that God exists. This is a fairy tale. This is the most commonly accepted fiction. And the reason for that, of course, there's so many ways that you can say, well, there are different gods, and everyone says my God is the best God, and not everybody can be right about this. And there's lots of, there are lots of things to support this perspective of, if you can't prove it, it doesn't exist. Okay? So, but let me posit this to you, Mr. Gervais, and to anyone else who shares that perspective. We think of science as something which is reliable, because the things in science, animals, they can be tested, they can be dissected, they can be photographed, they can be presented, they can be seen in museums, they can be captured. Tangible physical evidence of these things. And yet, the sum total of our scientific understanding through time has always been proven wrong. Every model of the universe, since the dawn of astronomy, has been corrected by a later model. Even Einstein did not have it totally correct on the universe. And he was Albert Einstein. We're even now learning more about the universe than we knew then, so our understanding grows. It changes. But the universe isn't changing. Our understanding of it is based on the discoveries we make. So our understanding changes, but the facts don't change. So we were wrong. You know, Copernicus's theory of the universe was wrong. It was scientifically held, to be reliable until it was overturned. Everything we thought we knew scientifically has been proven to be wrong. Everything. In the 1950s, we thought the Milky Way was the center of the universe. Now we know not. But the Milky Way's place in the universe has not changed in 80 years. Our understanding has changed. So we were wrong. Our science was wrong. And almost everything we've ever held to be true scientifically has been corrected. So wherever you are on the historical timeline, if you're holding on to science as your reliable cornerstone for an understanding of life, then you're going to be proven wrong when the science you hold to be true is displaced by a more accurate analysis later. So it's not that you're wrong if you believe in God. The fact is, if you rely on science entirely, the set of facts you're believing in or you're relying upon are going to be proven obsolete later. So you are wrong. If science is your bag, and those are your truths, then they will be proven false in the end. And you are necessarily wrong. History tells us that. And the scientific mind would tell us that a historical pattern is evidence of a future pattern. So, if you look at the evidence, you'll see that science has always fell short of the mark. Always. Now, the other part of this quote is that if a thing cannot be seen or captured or shown or dissected or analyzed or weighed or tested and proven by the scientific method, that therefore it cannot exist. Because you hold that you cannot prove God, so therefore God must not exist, right? A lot of atheists believe that. They believe it. Funny use of that term. But they hold that position, and it's fine. But there are so many other things in our, I want to say in the universe, in our world, in the human experience, let's say, that are not quantifiable, that cannot be weighed or measured, that cannot be dissected or captured or photographed or presented in a court of law or seen in a museum. One of these things is what we call God. Another is what we call love. Can you weigh it? Can you prove it? Someone can say that they love you. Perhaps they're just lying because they want access to your wealth. Or in some cases, not in the case of Gervais probably, but in some cases because of your immense physical attractiveness. You might think that you love somebody else. But what is that? That's really probably just your lust. That's just physical desire. And maybe there's a psychological desire to want to be affirmed by being accepted and to not be alone. And there's lots of needs. The human psyche is rife with needs. But love? Does that really exist? Or is that just the sum total of our needs? Is love really anything more than just a survival instinct? That thing which propels us to satisfy our basic needs? What about the human mind? The human mind, very famously, does not physically exist. It cannot be located in the body. It cannot be isolated. It can't be removed in an autopsy. It can't be weighed. It can't be measured. It can't be dissected. It can't be photographed. Does the human mind exist? I don't know anybody who would say it does not. But you can't prove to me that it does. You can say, well, what about literature? That proves, that's evidence of the human mind. But is it? Is it? Have you seen, have you gone to the movie theater to see a Transformers film? That could have been written by a computer. A human mind was not needed to make that happen. It wasn't. A computer can do that now. And you say, well, okay, the human made the computer. So therefore, that's evidence of the human mind. Okay? But let's talk about the ant. The ant, which, like the human, builds in a communal fashion. Very few humans ever create anything alone, except paintings or books. Even then. But the ant creates great structures for its community to live in. Does it have a mind, though? It doesn't. The ant is so small, and its construction is so basic and primary that what we think of as its brain is basically a hub of electrical impulses, and there's no time or room for will or thought. It does not have any will, and it does not have any mind. It's got a swarm mentality, a hive mind kind of a thing. An army of ants, a colony of ants, is like a single living creature, more than it is like 10,000 creatures all cooperating. There's a single mind. It's a hive mind, they call it. And yet the ant surely creates, just as the human creates, but there's no mind. So the mind and the creation, they don't go together. There's no proof of a human mind. What about love? Can't prove it. What about empathy? Can't prove that that exists. Someone can claim to be empathetic. That could be a lie. You might be able to claim feelings of empathy for others. Maybe you have them, but you can't prove them. Maybe you only think you have them. Maybe, like God, empathy is just a word. Just a concept. Maybe human will. Maybe the human mind. Maybe love. Maybe these things don't exist because you can't prove any of them. But without them, without any of those things, how right can you be? How right can any of us be? Okay, that's a quote and some quips. Tune in again. I'm here every week, Monday at noon, on this YouTube channel. Until then, visit my website, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Mary.